Everything you think you know about Christmas is a lie. And if you actually love Christmas, you probably shouldn't be watching this. Christmas isn't just lights, presents, or fancy dinners. It's about what you're willing to give, even when you have almost nothing. Take Della and Jim from the gift of the Magi. On Christmas Eve, they had barely enough money to live. Yet they each gave their most treasured possession to make the other happy. Their gifts? Practically useless, but their love? Priceless. And now, I want to tell you the story of how it all happened. Della spread the coins on the small table and counted them again. $1.87. She gathered them and counted slowly, as if the numbers might change. No, still the same.
$1.87. That is all.
60 of those cents were pennies, pennies she had fought for one by one. She could hear the grocer's sigh, feel the vegetable man's annoyed stare, remember the butcher's raised eyebrow. Each bargain had burned her cheeks with shame, yet she had done it anyway. $1.87, she whispered.
Tomorrow is Christmas. And I have nothing for him.
Tomorrow was Christmas. There was nothing left to do. Della sank onto the shabby couch, burying her face in her hands. She cried, not quietly, but raw and helpless. Life, after all, is mostly sobs and sniffles, with smiles rare. At that moment, sniffles were winning. As her crying softened, look around her home. $8 a week, a furnished flat. Nothing begged description, but nothing escaped poverty. The walls were tired. The furniture had given up pretending to be new. Downstairs, a letterbox that never received letters, and a doorbell that never rang. A small card read, Mr. James Dillingham Young. Once, when $30 came each week, the name had stood taller. Now, with $20, the letters seemed to shrink to a modest D. But whenever Mr. James Dillingham Young returned, Della met him with open arms. Jim, she said, and he hugged her completely. Della wiped her face and stood by the window, staring absent-mindedly at a gray cat on a gray fence. Tomorrow's Christmas, she whispered. Only $1.87 to buy Jim a present. For months, she had saved. Planned. Imagine something fine and rare for him. Something that would say, this is for Jim, but $20 a week disappears quickly. Expenses rise without asking permission. $1.87, she repeated. Between the windows stood a thin pier glass. Della shifted to see herself whole, catching her reflection in pieces. Suddenly, she faced the mirror. Her eyes shone bright, then drained of color. No, she breathed. Quickly, she pulled out the pins and let her hair fall. The James Dillingham Youngs had two prized possessions, Jim's gold watch and Della's hair. If the Queen of Sheba lived across the air shaft, Della would have let her hair hang out to make her feel poor. And if King Solomon were the janitor, Jim would have flaunted his watch to make him envy it. Della's hair fell like a living waterfall, brown, shining, reaching below her knees. For a moment, she just stood. Then she twisted it back nervously. A tear fell, then another, darkening the worn red carpet. It's all right, she whispered. It has to be. She pulled on her old brown jacket, placed her hat on, and with skirts swirling, hurried out the door, down the stairs, and into the street. She stopped in front of a narrow shop. The sign above the door read, Madame Sofrony, hair goods of all kinds. Without allowing doubt to settle, Della ran up the single flight of stairs. At the top, she paused, breathless, steadying herself. Madame Sofrony was large, pale, and cold-looking. Nothing soft or elegant about her. Will you buy my hair? Della asked, her voice tight. I buy hair, Madame replied flatly. Take your hat off. Let's see it. The brown cascade fell. Madame lifted the hair with a practiced hand. No ceremony, no hesitation. $20. Give it to me quick, said Della. And just like that, it was done. The next 2 hours passed as if carried on wings. Forget metaphors. Della was everywhere. Store after store, counter after counter, searching, rejecting, insisting, until she found it. The moment she saw it, she knew. A platinum fob chain.
It is like him. Quietness and value. I will take it.
Simple, quiet, honest, valuable without trying to look so. No ornament, no excess, just substance. It was JIM. It was worthy of the watch. They charged her $21. She paid without blinking and hurried home with 87 cents left in her pocket. Now Jim could carry his watch openly, proudly. No more hiding the old leather strap. Home. Reality returned. Love had done its damage. Della lit the gas, heated the curling irons, and went to work undoing what generosity had done. A brutal task. A necessary 1.40 minutes later, her head was covered in tiny curls. She studied herself in the mirror. "If Jim doesn't kill me before his second look," she whispered, "he'll think I look like a chorus girl." She swallowed. But what else could I do with $1.87? At 7 o'clock, the coffee was ready. The frying pan waited. Jim was never late. Della sat on the corner of the table, clutching the chain. Then she heard his step on the stairs below. Her face went white. She whispered a prayer. "Please God, let him still think I'm pretty." The door opened. Jim stepped in. He looked thin, serious, too young for such weight. His coat was worn, his hands bare, and then he stopped, completely still, his eyes fixed on Della, not angry, not shocked, not horrified. Something worse, unreadable. Della slid off the table and rushed to him. "Jim, don't look at me like that," she cried. "I sold my hair. I had to. I couldn't go through Christmas without giving you something. It'll grow again. It grows fast. Say Merry Christmas."
You have cut off your hair?
I sold it to buy your gift. Do not look at me so.
"Please, you don't know how beautiful the gift is. You cut off your hair?" Jim said slowly, as if forcing the words through fog. "I cut it and sold it," Della said quickly. "You still love me, don't you?" "I'm still me." Jim looked around the room, strangely. "You say your hair is gone?" he said again. And in that pause, heavy, silent, their Christmas held its breath. "You don't need to look for it," Della said softly but firmly. "It's sold. Sold and gone. It's Christmas Eve, Jim. Be kind to me. It was for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered," she added with sudden, quiet seriousness. "But no one could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on?" Jim seemed to wake suddenly from a trance. He wrapped his arms around Della. For a few seconds, let us politely look away at something unimportant. $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? Love does not calculate well. The Magi brought gifts, but even they did not bring this. Jim reached into his overcoat pocket and dropped a small package onto the table. "Don't misunderstand me, Dell," he said. "There's nothing a haircut or a shave could do to make me love you less. But open that, and you'll see why I looked the way I did." Her fingers tore at the paper. First came a cry of pure joy. Then, inevitably, tears. There lay the combs. The combs she had stared at for months in a Broadway window. Tortoiseshell, jeweled, perfect, made for the hair that no longer existed. She pressed them to her chest. "My hair grows fast, Jim," she said at last, smiling through tears. Then suddenly she gasped. "Oh." Jim had not yet seen his gift. She held it out eagerly in her open palm. The quiet platinum chain caught the light, reflecting something brighter than metal. "Isn't it perfect? I searched everywhere. You'll check the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see it on." Jim didn't move. He sank onto the couch, folded his hands behind his head, and smiled. "Dell," he said, "let's put our presents away for now. They're too nice to use yet. I sold the watch to buy your combs." Then he added gently, "And now, suppose you put the chops on." The Magi were wise men, very wise. They invented the art of gift-giving. And though I've told you the simple story of two foolish young people who sacrificed their greatest treasures for each other, know this: of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest, everywhere. They are the Magi. I leave you alone with this beautiful scene, and a Happy New Year.